The 7-day spiritual breakthrough bootcamp that changed my life. Stop everything you are doing right now. This is not another self-help story you will scroll past today. This is not another motivational speech that leaves you feeling inspired for 5 minutes and then forgotten. I know why you are here at this exact moment. I know why your heart is beating with that restless hunger for something more, something deeper, something that finally makes sense of the chaos in your life. You have tried everything, haven't you? You have read the books, attended the seminars, followed the gurus, downloaded the apps, and still that emptiness inside you grows larger every day. In these times where everyone promises quick fixes and instant transformations, where the noise of false solutions drowns out the voice of true breakthrough, you have become skeptical. You have been disappointed too many times. But what I'm about to share with you is different. 7 days ago, I was exactly where you are right now. Broken, desperate, searching for answers in all the wrong places. I'd reached the end of my rope, the bottom of my hope, the edge of my faith. But then something happened that shattered every limitation I thought was permanent in my life. Something that destroyed every lie I had believed about my potential. Something that activated a power I never knew existed within me. I discovered a spiritual breakthrough bootcamp so powerful, so transformative, that in just 7 days it completely rewrote the script of my existence. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is raw, unfiltered testimony of what happens when you align with the correct spiritual principles in the correct sequence with the correct intensity. The breakthrough I experienced was not gradual. It was not subtle. It was explosive, undeniable, and permanent. And today I'm going to give you the exact blueprint that changed everything. Day 1 was about breaking the chains of spiritual deception. I had to face a brutal truth. Most of what I thought I knew about spirituality was actually keeping me trapped. For years, I had been fed a diet of watered-down, feel-good spirituality that promised comfort but delivered confusion. I had been taught to seek inner peace while avoiding inner truth. I had been programmed to focus on positive thinking while ignoring the power of authentic transformation. On day 1, I encountered a revelation that shattered my religious box completely. I learned that true spirituality is not about escaping reality, but about transforming it. It is not about finding temporary relief, but about accessing permanent power. It is not about feeling better, but about becoming better. The breakthrough principle of day 1: you must destroy the false foundation before you can build the true one. I spent hours that first day identifying every limiting belief, every toxic thought pattern, every spiritual lie that had been controlling my life without my permission. I wrote them down, spoke them out loud, and then I did something that felt terrifying, but absolutely necessary. I renounced them. I declared war on every mindset that had kept me small, every belief that had kept me bound, every thought that had kept me powerless. The spiritual realm responded immediately. I felt something break inside me that had been locked for years. It was not emotional, it was deeper than that. It was like chains falling off my soul. Day 2 introduced me to the power of authentic spiritual authority. I discovered that most people live their entire lives never understanding that they have been given authority over their circumstances, their emotions, their destiny. They live as victims when they were designed to live as victors. They beg for what they have already been given the power to command. The revelation hit me like lightning. I am not a beggar in the spiritual realm. I am royalty. I'm not asking for scraps. I am claiming my inheritance. I am not hoping things will change. I am decreeing that they must change. On day 2, I learned to speak with authority instead of uncertainty. I learned to declare instead of wish. I learned to command instead of plead. The difference was immediate and undeniable. When you speak from spiritual authority, the universe has no choice but to respond. When you decree a thing from your true identity, it must be established. When you understand that you carry divine power within you, everything impossible becomes inevitable. I practiced this throughout day 2, speaking to every area of my life that needed transformation. I spoke to my finances with authority. I spoke to my relationships with authority. I spoke to my health with authority. I spoke to my future with authority. And for the first time in years, I felt like something was actually listening and responding. Day 3 revealed the secret of spiritual acceleration. I learned that most people take years to experience breakthrough because they are using spiritual methods designed for maintenance, not transformation. They are trying to change their lives with techniques designed to keep them comfortable. But breakthrough requires different tools. Breakthrough requires intensity that matches the magnitude of change you are seeking. On day 3, I discovered the power of spiritual fasting combined with focused declaration. Not the kind of fasting that is about diet or discipline, but the kind that breaks the power of every force that has been feeding off your potential. I fasted from every voice that spoke limitation over my life. I fasted from every entertainment that dulled my spiritual sensitivity. I fasted from every relationship that drained my energy without adding value. I fasted from every habit that kept me operating below my divine capacity. And as I created this spiritual vacuum, something powerful rushed in to fill the space. Clarity came like a flood. Vision became crystal clear. Purpose emerged from the fog of confusion. Direction replaced the chaos of uncertainty. By the end of day 3, I knew exactly what I was created to do, exactly where I was supposed to go, and exactly how to get there. This was not gradual understanding. This was sudden, complete revelation that changed everything in a single moment. Day 4 taught me the principle of spiritual momentum. I learned that breakthrough is not just about one powerful experience, but about sustaining and multiplying that experience until it becomes your new reality. Most people experience breakthrough moments, but then return to breakthrough thinking and breakthrough actions. They go back to the same spiritual habits that kept them stuck. They return to the same level of intensity that produced their previous results. But day 4 showed me how to build momentum that becomes unstoppable. I learned to compound my spiritual practices. Every prayer became more focused than the last. Every declaration became more powerful than the previous. Every act of faith became more audacious than before. I discovered that spiritual momentum is like a rocket breaking through the atmosphere. At first, it requires enormous energy to overcome the gravitational pull of your old reality. But once you break through, once you reach that spiritual altitude, you begin to operate in a realm where the impossible becomes effortless. On day 4, I felt myself breaking through the gravitational pull of mediocrity. I felt myself entering a spiritual atmosphere where miracles are normal, where breakthrough is expected, where transformation is inevitable. The shift was so dramatic that people around me began noticing immediately. They could not identify exactly what was different, but they knew something fundamental had changed. Day 5 introduced me to the concept of spiritual warfare mastery. I realized that my biggest battles were not with circumstances, but with invisible forces that had been assigned to keep me operating below my potential. These forces work through thoughts, emotions, relationships, and circumstances to maintain the status quo of limitation in your life. Most people fight these battles with natural weapons and wonder why they never achieve lasting victory. But day 5 taught me to identify my real enemies and engage them with weapons that actually work. I learned to recognize the difference between my own thoughts and thoughts that were being planted in my mind. I learned to distinguish between legitimate emotions and emotional manipulation from spiritual sources. I learned to discern between relationships that were heaven-sent and connections that were hell-bent on destroying my destiny. The breakthrough came when I stopped trying to manage my problems and started destroying their source. Instead of treating symptoms, I began attacking roots. Instead of coping with limitations, I began breaking the power that enforced those limitations. The results were immediate and overwhelming. Problems that had persisted for years began dissolving. Obstacles that had seemed permanent began crumbling. Doors that had been locked for decades began opening. It was like watching dominoes fall in reverse, everything falling into perfect alignment. Day 6 revealed the ultimate secret, the power of prophetic declaration over your future. I discovered that most people live reactively, responding to whatever life throws at them. But there is a higher way to live, a way where you become the author of your story instead of just a character in someone else's narrative. On day 6, I learned to speak my future into existence. Not wishful thinking or positive affirmations, but prophetic declarations backed by spiritual authority and aligned with divine purpose. I declared breakthrough over every area that had been broken. I declared abundance over every area that had been lacking. I declared victory over every area that had been defeated. I declared restoration over every area that had been damaged. And something supernatural happened. I began to feel my future pulling me forward instead of my past holding me back. I began to sense possibilities that had never existed before. I began to experience a confidence that was not based on my abilities, but on the power of what I had spoken. By the end of day 6, I was no longer the same person who had started this journey. My identity had been completely rewired. My expectations had been totally transformed. My capacity for believing had been exponentially expanded. Day 7 was about integration and activation. Everything I had learned, every breakthrough I had experienced, every revelation I had received needed to be integrated into a sustainable lifestyle. This was not about returning to normal life with a few new insights. This was about establishing a new normal that maintained the altitude I had reached. On day 7, I created systems that would keep me operating at this breakthrough level permanently. I established daily practices that maintained my spiritual momentum. I implemented weekly rhythms that sustained my prophetic vision. I designed monthly evaluations that ensured continuous transformation. Most importantly, I learned to live from breakthrough instead of toward breakthrough. Instead of hoping breakthrough would come, I began operating as someone for whom breakthrough is normal. Instead of seeking transformation, I began living as someone who is continuously transforming. Instead of pursuing my destiny, I began walking in the confidence that my destiny is pursuing me. The 7 days changed everything, but the real miracle was what happened after. Every principle I had learned continued to compound. Every breakthrough I had experienced continued to multiply. Every victory I had won opened the door to greater victories. 6 months later, my life is unrecognizable. My income has tripled. My relationships have been completely transformed. My health has been supernaturally restored. My purpose has become crystal clear and is being fulfilled at a pace I never thought possible. Most importantly, I have become someone I never thought I could be. But this is not about me. This is about what is possible for you. Everything I experienced, you can experience. Every breakthrough I achieved, you can achieve. Every limitation I shattered, you can shatter. The same spiritual laws that worked for me will work for you. The same divine power that transformed my life is available to transform yours. The same breakthrough principles that changed my destiny can change yours. But you have to decide. You have to choose transformation over comfort. You have to choose breakthrough over maintenance. You have to choose your destiny over your current reality. If you are ready to begin your own 7-day spiritual breakthrough bootcamp, here is exactly what you need to do. First, make a commitment that is stronger than your excuses. Breakthrough requires intensity that surpasses convenience. It demands dedication that exceeds your comfort zone. It requires a level of seriousness that matches the magnitude of change you are seeking. Second, eliminate every distraction that competes with your focus. For the next 7 days, your breakthrough must be your highest priority. Not your job, not your relationships, not your entertainment, not your problems, your breakthrough. Third, document everything. Write down every revelation, every insight, every shift you experience. Breakthrough is not just about the experience, it is about capturing the experience so you can build on it. Fourth, expect resistance. Every force that has been keeping you limited will fight to maintain control. Your old mindsets will resist the new thinking. Your circumstances will seem to get worse before they get better. People around you may not understand or support your transformation. This is normal and expected. It is evidence that you are breaking through, not evidence that you should stop. Fifth, stay connected to others who are pursuing breakthrough. Transformation is easier when you are surrounded by people who believe in your potential and support your progress. If you do not have these people in your life currently, you must find them or create that community. Your breakthrough is too important to pursue alone. The 7-day spiritual breakthrough bootcamp that changed my life can change yours too, but only if you are willing to bring the same level of intensity, commitment, and expectation that transformation requires. Only if you are ready to destroy what has been limiting you and build what will liberate you. Only if you are prepared to become the person your breakthrough requires you to be. If this message has ignited something inside you, if you recognize that this is the moment you have been preparing for, I need you to take action immediately. Comment with the word breakthrough to declare that you are ready to begin your transformation journey and activate the power that will change everything. Share this message with someone who has been waiting for permission to believe that radical change is possible. Maybe it is a family member who has accepted limitation as permanent, a friend who has given up on their dreams, someone in your network who needs to know that breakthrough is not just possible, it is inevitable when you apply the right principles. Be the catalyst that ignites transformation in their life. Like this video, if these principles have awakened faith for your breakthrough and you want others to experience this same power, follow me to continue receiving the strategies and revelations that will sustain your transformation and accelerate your results. Your breakthrough is not coming. Your breakthrough is here. Your breakthrough is now. Receive it, activate it, live it, because everything changes when you change everything.